Welcome to the art of everything.
What I can say influenced me to be an artist is my childhood environment and also school. My first interaction in art, I was in class 1.
Oh.
So you were given a character, a hippopotamus character. Home time imekafika, watu wanaenda home. Mimi na hippo yangu was just there. Nimeivuta hadi kidogo pepe nararuka.
Nyinyi ndio wale watu wamuhitaji ama unapiganga screenshot ya kitabu kabla exam?
I have a good photographic memory.
Yeah,
Ikifika hapo kwa vitabu, it's where it draws the line. I feel at the end of the day, for balance, it's for you to understand your schedule and you have to just have a structure. And me, I get my inspiration from conversations. Sana tunapiga hivi story, lakini kwa hiyo conversation kuna idea ngapi?
Yeah. I just noticed something though. What is up with artists having dreadlocks? Naona pia sisi tuko na locks hapa sisi wote.
Mbona naenda salon kukaa 5 hours?
Hi everyone, and welcome to The Art of Everything, a podcast that focuses on different types of art. I am an art enthusiast, and I'm here to bring for you all the content that includes art and everything that goes behind it. I'm your host, Chelsea Chamwada, and today I have one artist that I have been really wanting to meet and know about her work. She's a wonderful illustrator, and a mural artist. We call her the soul paintress. With me, I have Ninah Tanya, and today we're going to talk about what makes her an artist and what motivates her. Thank you for joining us. Ninah, glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I really am glad. It's been a minute and I was just like, I need to talk to her and I need to figure out a lot about her. I have seen your work majorly on Instagram a lot. And I think that's the first place where I noticed you and I just loved what you did with the murals and everything. I feel like, especially being a lady, it really motivated me, gave me like some sort of, glimpse to, that I can do this, and I needed that motivation. So I think for me, the first thing I would love to know from you is, how did you know that you wanted to be an artist? How did you just realize it one day, or what is it that made you realize that you want to be an artist?
Realizing, I don't know if I had a specific time that I realized. Actually, I think I did. But what I can say influenced me to be an artist is my childhood environment. So my hometown where I grew up, and also school. So first school, because we had an art club. We didn't have art as a lesson because I went to a public school, but we had art
This
clubs.
is high school?
No, primary school.
Oh, primary.
Yes,
primary. So as
school.
early as that?
Yeah, as early as that. Early as that. And also if you watch cartoons, I think if you didn't used to doodle when you were a child, even if it didn't make sense, I don't know what you're doing. I think everyone
those tukas people
drew like, you see random things that you're doing when you're young. So for me that, and art class. So my first interaction in art, I was in class 1. So you were given a character, a hippopotamus character. I said that right, hippopotamus. Okay, yeah. So that character, we were told to trace the character, and then just now color. So for me, I was, as people were tracing, I don't know why I was struggling to trace. Then I interpreted as I struggled to trace. But the thing is, I was able to trace, but I just didn't like how it looked. Yeah. And it frustrated me so much. I remember I cried. I was the only one who was not able to submit my hippo back, my Mr. Hippo back. So now when people, home time imekafika, watu wanaenda home, mimi na hippo yangu was just there. Nimeivuta hadi kidogo pepe nararuka. So now I went back home, and one thing is I was very restless, and you get to home chilling, and I was just during the evening after homework, I just sat down with my hippo and I started now sketching aside, not tracing. And once I was done, it actually turned out, I liked it.
It felt more natural
and satisfying. I think what I was struggling with is the satisfaction from the tracing, which made me keep on rubbing at work. But after that, I was really happy. Nakumbuka nikirudi shule, it was the first thing I did. I gave to the teacher.
Yeah.
Hata kwa hapo, like he was, alikuwa sha move on from that.
Like
me, I'm just so
tulitoka kwa
happy.
hipo.
Tulishatoka. Me, I was so happy, you know. But then it wasn't like I want to be an artist. It was just like it was just work and something I was like, this was really good. I was impressed by what I could do. And then my second interaction, my neighbor gifted me a Sonic drawing.
Oh.
Yes, that was my first actually gift. And it was a drawing, colored pencils. And I was so fascinated. Like this is so nice.
Like
this is so
how
good.
Can you do this?
Yes. I think it's the thought. Yeah, like she just randomly came. Alikuwa amenyuma. It was a box, a cardboard box. And then I cover a gift paper, wrapping paper. And then I may stick the drawing paper kwa the gift too. So now akanipatia, and I was very excited.
If you want to know how good it is, you can remember.
Yes.
Like you can actually...
Because it was my first gift.
And it's...
Yes, it was my first gift. So with that, I did exactly what she did and gave it to her. So for me, my learning experience with art was through replication. I kept on copying what I was seeing.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, I grew up in Maringo, Marish, it's in Jogoo.
Nice.
And the culture there is street art culture.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of graffiti. Yani, asubuhi meamka, meenda shule, narudi, there's this big piece of art. Like it used to fascinate me so much. The thing is, I never saw this artist doing it.
Yeah.
One moment, the wall was just plain, the other was
filled with,
art.
life.
And the thing is, you don't see the process.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, I think they were doing it when nikiwa shule. I don't think necessarily usiku, but nikiwa shule.
Oh, okay.
So coming back, and then the only time najua kutoka shule just straight from home. So weekend is when I used to come across these pieces. And I remember there's this one that was a certain distance from home, nimetuma omo. And then I was very observative. So for me, one of the ways I get to learn is through observation. And that is also a way I get to I gather inspiration through observation. So I was just walking around, and then I see this huge piece of art. It was so huge. It's Manyumba Zamarish, there's like the lower houses and the like long buildings. And I just remember the color was it was black and purple, and it was a mask. And I stood there for like a whole, I think 15 minutes. It was for a minute, and we tumwa, and you know our mothers. So I just looked at it. I couldn't interpret it, but I was just fascinated with that kind of an image that's there. So that, by then I didn't know what it was even called.
Yeah.
I just knew it was a drawing.
It's a huge
drawing. And I was so impressed. It was fascinating.
Yeah.
So that, and then now, that's when I'll come back to how I started graffiti. And then other instance I remember of me drawing and now saying, actually, I'm enjoying this was through a cartoon over the hedge. I think, yeah. And during the end of that video, there's one of the animators was doing a character of the hedge. I think was it the hedge? Yes. And I paused, and it was doing exactly what he was doing. So that's how I started now doing art. And then in school, the competitions, the QA competition, blue band competition, I used to engage in all of that. And I also used to compete a lot with guys in my class doing art. Yeah.
I feel like she's talking about, you're actually really talking about something I can relate to. When you spoke about where you grew up, I also grew up during my area, Pale Buruburu, Don Home area. So when you talk about the murals you've seen there, I think I also interacted with them there. And ukona a very good memory.
Sana.
Nyinyi ndio wale watu wamuhitaji ama unapiganga screenshot ya kitabu kabla exam.
You see, I think my brain with the visual it has a very, I have a good photographic memory.
Yeah,
ikifika hapo kwa vitabu, it's where it draws the line. It is choosing on what to remember. Like in hapo kwa maths, it's where it draws the line. But you know what? It's okay. We have different ways.
Yeah, as long as it's panning out in its own way.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Maybe you tell us what you do. Basically, the kind of work you do currently. We know that you're an illustrator and a mural artist. what exactly does your work entail?
So I'm a multidisciplinary visual artist, and I work across different mediums and across different themes. So multidisciplinary visual artist, I work with different mediums, which is digital art. And the digital art also entails illustrations. I do acrylic painting. I do watercolors. I do murals and graffiti. So with mural is basically using paints, but with graffiti I also use spray paints, and a lot of experimenting, which I'm also trying to venture into extended reality through augmented realities, and also bleach and working with fabric. Now I'm also starting to work with fabric media. I'm not had any work that is out there. It's something that I'm working on this year. So this year is a very exciting year for me because of the projects. I think you've seen what I've started. So through the projects that I'm doing, I'm going to expand the mediums that I work with.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
For those who are wondering, I'm going to share with you what she is working on and all her socials so that mumtafute. I think the next thing I wanted to ask you was, which you've already sort of answered, is the medium you use. Now, what I'll probably now ask is maybe expound more on the type of medium you use and how you acquire them, because I feel like I get a bit of struggles trying to find a lot of tools or like tuseme canvas ama vitu kama hizo, just finding them and finding them at a good price or something of that sort. How do you get your mediums?
First of all, there's nothing as a good price in terms of getting art supplies. Like if you've been following Ata Juicy on my Instagram, I was just like, someone was complaining how art supplies are very expensive. So good price, no, but in terms of access, there is access. There are places you can get like textbook center and other places which in town.
Yeah.
So cause of how affordability or the materials, the prices, that's how I ventured into digital art, because you see I use Procreate, an app, to do digital art. For me, that's affordable, because at the end of the day, I'll do my digital art and then I do it, then I print it out on a canvas. I don't have to keep on buying paints. But now if a client is specific, if they want acrylic. So in different traditional art, you can either use acrylic, you can use oil paint, I think gouache, watercolor. So my favorite, the one which I started was with acrylic painting. It was what I was introduced to by a friend. And then I was also introduced to watercolors, but watercolors happened to be my favorite medium then. And because I just like the way I don't have to use a lot of paint. I use the wash technique. It's just like a pinch of paint and then a lot of water. So, and I just like how you get to easily build up on the color and on the pigmentation, because I do a lot of portrait painting, and the pigmentation, I enjoy just the process, and it's on paper, so watercolors is my favorite. And then there is the murals and graffiti. I enjoy doing, I don't like also doing small pieces and details. For me, it's more about the patience. I think I don't have the patience for doing details, and I see people's work and I'm just like, wow. I hear people say they've invested a whole month creating one piece, and I'm just like, that's really impressive, because I don't think I have that in me. I'm still trying to build that, because the more you spend more time on your work, also the more detail it is. So for me, as an illustration, because illustration is a form of how you get, it's a technique, it's how you get to just visually interpret work. So let's say if I paint you, I won't have the details. People can say this is you, but I've not got into the details. I've just maybe through the colors and what I've just interpreted how you look, But now I've not made it in a realistic kind of way. So for me, illustration, it's what comes in easy, and it's what I enjoy, because at the end of the day, it's a story I'm trying to tell. So I'm also a storyteller. With my work, I get to share different stories through conversation and through how I just paint. I like enjoying the process that doesn't have a lot of details, but when in the space or in the time that I'm required to do details, I'll definitely get to deliver. But for my own personal work, it's just a matter of you get to understand the story I'm trying to share. So with the watercolor, my favorite, digital art, murals is also on graffiti. Is I enjoy doing that. It's just that it is the work that it takes to just climb that up that ladder, going down and up. It's any gym.
Ni kazi mob.
Ni gym.
Area karatasi, you know, you have.
Because you're sitting, you're comfortable. With murals, you have to like be outside. It's gymnastic. Yani, you're by there by itself. It is a whole workout. It is a whole workout. And then you're outdoors with the sun or with heat. It's raining. There's a lot of challenges that come with like doing murals and large scale art. But at the end of the day, the satisfaction is very fulfilling. And also I do live art performances.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Now I'm actually curious. What if you're painting your mural over there and then rain imeamua tu, it just comes and washes everything?
Hapo ndio unakuanga wewe na
brush unarusha.
Like at the end of the day, you see now this in terms of weather, one of the challenges you experience is like let's say mural artist or graffiti artist is weather. Because now when it rains, you can't paint. And especially when you paint and then kukinyesha, it will drip. So you definitely don't want that experience. That will simply show the worst day as a creative. Umeanza piece, umeanza asubuhi vizuri, the weather was perfect. And then it changes and then it rains and then your whole artwork drips, man. Unaendanga tu home kulala, like you just you think your life
you take your L and
you take your L. Kesho unahave kwanza upya tena. You have to now like clean up the surface. It takes a lot of work. So those are some of the challenges with the outdoor kind of art.
Ni mbaya.
Ni mbaya.
And just before we go to the challenges, because that's something I also wanted to ask Mbeleni, I wanted to comment on, first of all, I love the concept of telling a story. I feel like for me, that's the most important thing in terms of sharing your art. How does it speak to someone, right? And with that, you've said something that really resonates with me, that impatience. How do you manage as an artist to start a piece, whatever piece it is you're doing, and be dedicated to it? What is it that motivates you to come to the end of that piece, to finish it? Like, what prevents you from getting that impatience per se?
I can say this. It's something that you come to in Aisha. It's still there. But at the end of the day, because I've been working in the art since immediately after high school, I just ventured into art. Now this is my 10th year. So some of the things I had to learn along the way are that this is actually what I want to like sustain my life. This is actually what sustained my life. And one thing, for it to do that, I have to respect what I'm doing. I have to honor my commitments. And part of honoring my commitment is whatever I start, I have to finish. Kitambo ilikuwa hivyo. Nilikuwa na a lot of unfinished pieces. Ningeanza painting.
I struggle.
And because I'm also a perfectionist, sana, like piece itokee venye nataka, let me tell you, nitaivuta. In fact, ni hata navutanga na achana na hizo canvas naenda kulala. For me, how I cope is through sleeping. Naenda kulala, ama na watch movie, like hivyo, you know, and I don't go back to it. So napata, the year ends, I have nothing to show because I have like neglected my work and I've neglected. The thing is, when you stop creating, when you stop katikati and you keep on chasing perfectionism, you neglect the calling. So because of that, I realized at the end of the day, it's not about being perfect. It's about making it, just come to the end of it, because it's a process.
Do what you can.
Yes, do what you can. And try as much to say, I will finish this work. Even right now, I struggle, even with the last mural I did. Nilianza. And then the first 2 days, I was just like, what am I doing? Why are these colors not giving me what I want? The results that I want. Because you see the process of creating changes. How your idea starts, how you envision, it changes. Like, nikianza, I'll do it digitally, I do it well. Nikienda kwa wall, it changes, because also you see the colors you get on the digital. How my process is, I sketch, And then I do it. If it doesn't matter how I'm going to do it, it's going to start with a sketch, and then I do it digitally, and then I transfer it either to a canvas to a wall surface. So you see that those are like 3 stages of creation process. And you see the colors that you get on the digital, it's easy. Now transferring it, it means you'll have to come mix colors. Una mix color ikue venye unataka ikue. So it frustrates. Yes, a tad darker. I mean, inakuletea tu color yenye hai make sense. It's not what you want. And in the process, you want to just like, you know what? I can't do this. I mean, why am I even here? Hii ni kazi yangu hata naenda tu home. Mbona naina force hizi issues, you know? But at the end of the day, it's not a matter of making it perfect. Just do it. Do it fast. And then you'll get it well later on. But you see, the moment you start and I think the most difficult part ni kufika katikati. The moment umefika katikati, it's so hard kuacha. Ukifika katikati, you may also take a break and then come back to it. Like, sleep on it and then come back. But don't sleep on it for too long. Just give yourself a day to rest, to just understand, okay, what is going wrong, and then now you come back to it. So with that system, I started now finishing my pieces and also telling myself at the end of the day, when you start to have to finish, and I said to myself, I always have to honor my commitment. The thing is, you started this project, you have to see it to the end. So for me, that and with that, I also had to find a way that's easier for me to work. You know, the kitambo, when you're starting as an artist, you learn from different artists. You want to do what other artists are doing. But what other artists are doing is they're doing what is working for them.
The different process.
Yes, everyone has a different process. You've not understood what works for you exactly. So one thing is I started learning what works for me, what is easier with me. Like, I'm not enjoying details, but how can I still make my art look good? For me, it's composition. For me, the composition matters. It's not like I just want to... If you look at my paintings, most of the time there's more than one character. It will have different things going on because I'm trying to have a composition around within the same story. So with that composition now, with coloring, how will I make this coloring easier and make it still be attractive? Flow, make it attractive to people, make it capture attention, and at the end of the day, what story am I trying to tell? So those are the important things that I came to now learn about myself. The story is the most important thing. The composition for me is also another important thing. And then now the process, what is my process of creation, and how long do I take creating this process? So kuna pressure, unajua, when you're around other creatives who have also been working for long, what they've acquired along the way is speed, which you might lack. So I also need to know, I shouldn't be working on a piece at a certain length. Juu nikikaa nayo sana, one thing pia ndaboeka na nitaachana nayo. So I need to find a way that's easier. It's also fun. Now what makes it fun is the mood. Nini inanipatia mood nzuri? Muziki. I'll listen to music. I'll vibe a lot. I'll dance. Nikikaka, nitasikiza maybe a podcast and it's funny, and then conversation, my story, and then working with creatives. So the things that make me actually happy and enjoy the process, which will help me finish that artwork. And also, why am I doing this piece? Do I have an objective? At the end of the day, what do I want to achieve? And do I have a timeline? So those are the things with time I got to like acquire, and I got to now zinanisaidia kuweza ku see my process from beginning to end.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think for me, that has given me some sort of idea. I need to have that discipline.
Discipline.
When you start now.
Normalize. At the end of the day, like, just leave perfection. That's one of sabotaging yourself. For me, it has done me. Sabotaging, which is sabotage through trying to be perfect, to create perfect work, perfect pieces. At the end of the day, there's no perfect work. Umeona pieces zenye zinasell huku nje. People are almost selling empty canvases. And like...
Which actually, for me, comes to what... ni kama unajua hapa, ulipewa memo na uniambi. I was thinking, how do you, as an artist, determine the value of, tuseme, a piece of work? I think reading about different artists, just at the top of my head, let's say Michelangelo or Vincent van Gogh or something, you'll find that some of their arts really now became famous after they passed on, you know, like after the world has moved on. Ndio sai utapata paintings zao zinauzwa for a lot of money. So how do you determine the value of an art as an artist? How do you price what you do? How do you know that this work is a bit more, maybe has a bit more value than this other one? How does that work?
So just to put it out there, I'm a self-taught artist.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any theory or educational background on art, which means I also don't have a lot of educational background on artists' work.
Okay, yeah.
Because mimi yangu nimelearn through other artists, like collaborating and practicing, and also asking a lot of questions. So I also have not worked with galleries in terms of exhibiting my work. That's a story, another story for another day. I have a different perspective on why I don't have work with galleries. But now coming back to how I price my work is where you start, you also have to like build on your skill. You have to gauge yourself and gauge the standard of where other artists are. So the artist, let's say if you have an artist who has mentored you, you can get to ask how do they price their work, they get to help. So you get to do how much materials. First of all, materials is something to consider. The time you've spent, which is also the labor, and also you yourself, how do you value your work through the details, through how do you feel? But it also has the pricing has to be very logical and not overpriced, and also have to be very careful not to underprice yourself, and also who's your target audience. At the end of the day, kama tuseme nataka kufanya mural, mama mboga ame request, siwezi mwambia prices ya kitu kama nikiwork kama na tuseme Safaricom. It will be very unfair. I'm just a corporate company. It will be unfair. So the target audience really matters, and also basically to the time, materials, resources, and if there's any transportation in terms of going and coming back. Deliveries and everything that has been placed on that work. Tax also, because you also have to pay tax as an artist. If you're registered, it is important to pay tax. So like those are the things that I consider, and the time spent, because I also, if I've spent 4 days on an art piece, that is also something that I have to.
The same way people get paid per hour.
Per hour, so you can do per hour. With illustration, it can be per hour per page. With mural, it can be per meter, or you give a standard rate. A standard rate of the mural, of the piece. So with the standard rate, it has to be inclusive of all the things that you're gonna be used. Per meter is also it also has to be inclusive of everything that you're going to use. For canvas painting, now that comes with the gallery. So if you're working with galleries, according to how I've listened to other artists, I think sometimes gallery can assist you in terms of pricing your art, or you can price it yourself depending on how much you want to value your art pieces. But now, I think one thing people miss out, and I think people take for granted, is one, art is an investment. The same way, in fact, ukibuy TV, with time itachapa. But ukibuy art piece, like let's say if an artist afike a certain level of jina ijulikane, because kakina Van Gogh, I want to believe it's more of status, that your name is known, and now you're not there. It becomes more of an archive, and an archive has a status.
It has a bit more value.
And art appreciates. It doesn't. I don't think so far kuna art nimesikia, maybe I don't know, I'm not sure, yenye ime go down in value, but with time. So you see, if I have a piece, I've done a piece, and I've done projects zenye zimekuwa in this year, and then I do an exhibition and my name is out there and I'm known. With time, people want to buy your name. It's no longer even about art. It's about the name. I own this piece, and then in the next
I own a Ninah Tanya.
You see, and then in the next 20 years, wewe mwenye umenunua, you want to sell that art piece. So you go, you of course double the price, or you name it, you price it at whatever, and then you go sell it. And then now for me, like maybe to have my piece in a museum, penye Mona Lisa, you see, those are the kind of things you target. But at the end of the day is, how do you value? What level is your skill? You also have to be really level ya skill yako penye imefika. And also you shouldn't allow the pressure from outside. They're telling you don't price your art like this, don't price. At the end of the day, when unajua the time umespend kwa hiyo create na kenye imekutake to produce that kind of work. So you have to be real, and you also have to value yourself for people to value your work.
Okay. Kindly talk about the artists that you have worked with so far. Maybe if I'm just saying in DM mahali, you could maybe share a couple of artists that you have worked with, and maybe your experience working with other artists. Ni kukwaje uko nje kwa field?
Kwa field kuna mambo mingi. Lakini at the end of the day, I feel everything, it depends with your relationship with people. And there are different peoples with different perspective, and you what at the end of the day, what do you want and what are you looking for? So I've been privileged enough to work with really good artists, especially here from Kenya. One thing is the visual mean, we can't complain, the visual art scene is yet to be understood and yet to gain visibility. I think the moment tunaongea na msichana mwambia mimi artists, I paint. The first question ni unaweza nichora, like my news niulize like mbona tunaweza
too common.
Like I've been told questions you can ask me, unaweza nichora
hivi tu venye niko
hivi venye exact hivyo tu unaweza nichora hivi venye niko na nitoke venye niko. I'm like there's so many things, there's so many subjects you can talk yenye it's not about you. Different artists do art in different topics,
different ways,
and in different ways, and in different topics. So for me, the first artist I ever interacted with, it was a female, she's very incredible, and Chela. So from a friend in high school introduced me to a cousin of hers. The cousin introduced me to a friend. The friend introduced me to Chela.
So the chain goes.
It was a chain which landed me to now actually even pursuing graffiti.
Okay.
Because Chela is the first, I believe she's the first graffiti female artist in Kenya. She's the pioneer.
Okay.
Yeah, she's really good. You should check her page.
Yes.
And she was kind enough to respond to my text. Not everyone kila mtu respond ako interested. She was kind enough to respond to my text, inviting me to her studio then, which was Power 254. That's how I landed there and got my first experience there. And even my first gig at Power 254. So I met Chela, and she's the one who introduced me. Then before Chela, I was working with pencils, and she's the one who introduced me to painting. She was working with acrylics. That's how I started working with acrylics.
Lovely.
Yes.
Chela Maliuko, ubarikiwe.
Yeah, so she's the one who introduced me to acrylic painting. And also graffiti. So I used to, Akena Mahali, I go with her, and she showed me to the different ways you can work with the medium. She's one of the artists I've worked with. Another one is Ibra. Ibra is the one who introduced me to mural. Na Chela. So it's a circle, like it's yani utajua tu kila mtu. Tuko wengi. At least say people are wengi, but then it was just a few people working, especially in the mural at scene. And then Ibra was the one who I did my first mural with. Chela was acrylic, Ibra was mural, and then there's Dado. Now Dado, he's also really amazing. Dado and Ibra are in the same group called Clan of Akan. They do graffiti. They're really, really good. I think I've
seen that somewhere.
Yeah. They're really cool people. So those are the people I've worked with sana. There's also Detail 7. Detail 7 pia, I've worked with him in his own personal gigs, In fact, professionally mwenye amenitia gig as an artist is Mr. Detail 7, nice. who actually trusted me as an artist, as a fellow artist to work with. Okay. So I'm always grateful for that. Nani job really corporate serious. So he was there, kaniambia do this, and he's also in terms of style, amenisaidia sana. And then apart from the visual arts, because for me, you see, the moment you work with just one, I believe if you work just within your discipline, you're not really expanding your brain. So I also work with other creatives. And I'm currently working with an artist called Shiki. She's a DJ and she's a poet.
Hey, lovely.
Yeah, so we have a collective called Kwanzaa Fusion, and where she gets to DJ on my pieces. I don't know if she gets to record her mixes on my pieces.
You can accompany with.
Yeah,
so cool. I've actually never seen that.
Yeah, we've also done like we're at an event called in Wind Down. And I don't know if it's the event in Ninah Wind Down. I think so.
I think it's
you've heard
event,
of it. Yes, the female event Wind Down. She was like DJing. I was doing a live painting. I've also worked with artists for residencies. I've worked with Liboy. She's a musician in a different way. I've done album covers for different creatives. So yeah, I've also worked with internationally a lady called Roma Around. She's really good.
Oh my God, that's so lovely.
Yeah, and also I've worked with a lot of artists. There's Msali, who's also a creative. So yeah,
that's so lovely. I think that's more of the reasons why I started this podcast, because I want these connections to be, not a sakamam to come. I want that to have such connections with equally other artists like those. And which now leads me to balancing art and life. I think one challenge I have is, how do I stop as an architecture student? How do I give myself that time to step away from those responsibilities for a minute to do something that I like? Maybe do my painting, do my drawing. How do you balance art with life?
If you find a response to that, I'm also looking for one. I'm also trying to find balance. It's not easy because one, you see with arts, the consistency, like if it's something that you're pursuing as a career, it has to bring consistent income. One, I don't have a manager. I'm doing everything myself, which means I'm my own administrator. I have to seek opportunities. I have to apply for opportunities. I have to reach out to do emails. Man, inanichokeshanga, jamani, it's exhausting. I have to also interact with people to sell myself. At the end of the day, I'm also doing other things. I also have my own business, which I'll be launching soon.
Oh, lovely.
But, kuna time I was also doing music. I was also playing percussions.
Oh.
I was in a group called Motra, and Afroman balance too was off. And I think it was just me. I feel at the end of the day, for balance, it's for you to understand your schedule. You have to understand your schedule, and you have to just have a structure. Without structure, it's so hard to have a balance. So at the end of the day, if you're multidisciplinary, like you're working with across different discipline, at the end of the day, you have to make it balanced. That's what like someone who I can see inspires me. I'm a mini fan, Tiana Taylor. She's a musician. She's a director. She's awesome. A producer. She's a dancer. She does a lot of she's so awesome, right? And I just like sasa mimi hata level yuko na mimi niko. I shouldn't even be complaining in a balance, because I'm sure her schedule is so full, busy. By the end of the day, she's able to make all these things work.
And I think she also has a kid.
Yeah, she's a mother. So she's a mother. Then me kwanza niko tu bado peke yangu, and I'm still trying to find this balance. Mi bado kijana, I'm still trying to make things work. So at the end of the day is structure.
Okay.
I think I'm still trying to work on a structure that will make me be able to harness all these things and make them work and make them productive and make all of them being seen and visible. So balance, I'm still trying to find balance, even if I've been here for like 10 years. Because ilifika mahali actually nimerudi tena kupaint for 3 years I was dormant. I was just, when you start, you're very excited, and then inafika mahali it's like you're panicking. What am I doing?
It's blocked.
I was completely blocked for like 3 years, and I was just like, the only thing I was showing up was jobs. Nikitiwa painting niko, lakini for my personal project, I was very dormant and I was very drained and exhausted, and I was panicking so much. So now last year I did a mural festival, which also motivated me to come back.
Okay.
Because before that, the last mural I did was in 2022, and then after that 2024, which was on a festival, actually the first mural festival to happen in East Africa, international festival to happen in East Africa, and then I was privileged to be selected to participate. So by the time I was going there, I was panicking. Sija paint mural in like, how many years? Kwanza ni job. It's outside. But at the end of the day, I was able to execute it. Yeah. And then now this mural. So it's a matter, I realized too, it's putting your structure well. Having a structure that will work and managing your time.
Yeah.
From morning to evening. And you cannot do everything at the same day. Also, maybe you can have a week, I'm going to focus on this. The next week, I'm going to focus on this. The other week, I'm going to combine two things. So I have days where it's just administrative. Najuangalia time na do administrative work, emails, applications. It's just that I cannot create. By the time nakwanga nimemaliza nimechoka, I just can't do anything else. And then I have days I'll just create. And even let's say kenda do murals, that's the only thing I can do. And also extending grace to myself, yeah, whatever. At the end of the day, just make sure you've done something productive and something towards your art. Feeding your craft and feeding and respecting the process.
Okay.
Yeah. So doing something. At the end of the day, you have to do something and you have to contribute to that. Because this year I'm going back to playing percussion. So now finding time to practice.
Lovely.
Yes, everything that I did before, I'm going to make sure, because I'm going to plan an exhibition at the end of the year, and I want it to have everything that I do. It's going to be an installation of
all you.
Yes, all me. I want people, because I've never
tell your story.
Yeah, intentionally I've only done one was it one or two exhibition? One was with a guy, a curator called Ninah Tanya.
Yeah, I think I've also heard
actually, he's the only one who I've accepted to, like, I've also approached in terms of to do my exhibition, because I think his structure is well, he is fair, and his intention is right. So for me, I have things that I look at so that I can be able to work with curators. And also in the Mural Festival, I got to exhibit my work. But now this year, I want to be able to curate my own exhibition. Of course, I'll have help. I have a team. And so, yeah, towards that, I want to be able to bring all these different things that I do that people have never seen this side of me or don't know about me to be able to experience.
That's really awesome. I think I love that. And it stems me to asking, what can you tell people in terms of what can you do for them? Yani kama tuseme kama mimi nataka a mural or something. What can you tell people that you can do for them? And where can they find you, like in terms of your socials? How can they reach you? Na mambo kama hayo. I don't think many people out there know what a mural is, probably. Yeah. Sometimes you mention a mural and people are like, huh? What's that?
Yeah, so, it's true. Yeah. So people ask,
we need
what's
a way
mural?
to interact with your work. You show us, where is what a mural is, what these illustrations are, unaweza fanyia nini watu.
So a mural is basically a large-scale painting. So something you paint on you see, art at the end of the day, it's a surface. And because a wall, it's a big surface, I think that's what makes it a mural. It's a large-scale art that is also public, a public installation. It can be indoors because you want it in your office, but also it's just a large-scale kind of art and has its own kind of different, you can use paint. And then a graffiti is specific with the style, and also it has its own specific style with graffiti, but also in terms of the medium, mostly is the spray cans. So I work with both. And so if my socials, I'm mostly active on my Instagram. You can also reach out on Facebook and also through emails. And yeah, Instagram, Facebook, emails, and if you have my number through WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yes. In illustration, I do books for kids. I do books. If you're a poet, we can collaborate. We can work. I can be able to interpret your poetry visually. If you're an artist and musician, I do album covers.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Nakutafutia yangu utanitengenezea.
Yes. So anything that you want, basically just anything that you want to be interpreted visually, even for like, let's say during organization, let's say you've gone to do this, you're going to do this conversation and you're trying to have, let's say, there's this time let's say a refugee camp and you want to pass a certain message, I'll be there doing the sketches of whatever is being said. Yeah, so visual messaging, visual text. I also do visual text.
Lovely.
Yes. So, yeah, and drawing. Naweza kuchora, but let that not be the first question.
Hivi venye niko hivi.
I mean, naweza kuchora in a different way kwa more interesting than venye uko, you know, but let that not be the first question. What are these
people called? Katimakiri, kama zinaitwa
caricature.
Hao nyona kuchora with a big head.
Yeah, caricature. Oh no, me I don't do caricature. I feel like that's very different. Also, that requires a certain level of skill and interest. Yeah. So for me, I don't do caricatures. Cartoons also, no, I don't do. So they're actually, you know, people. Unaona music, there are different genres. Yeah. Kuna R&B, kuna reggae, kuna hip hop. Also in visual art, there are different genres. Yeah. Kuna cartoon, kuna caricature, kuna pointillism. Like there's a lot of different mediums get to work with, and it's okay if my style does not suit you. Yeah, because true. At the end of the day, there's something specific you're looking for. So also, I feel like people need to also try and understand maybe what you want. And even as a client, if you approach me and ask me, can you do this and this? If I cannot do it, I'll just be open and say, honest, I cannot do this, but I can refer you to someone. And if I can, I'll do the sketch for you. First of all, maybe we can agree. We agree with the quotation. Once that we're on the same page, I do a sketch for you. If you like it, then we proceed to the actual work.
Okay, that's lovely. And as we wrap up, I wanted to ask, what is the one piece of art or work that you have done that you absolutely love? Maybe your favorite.
My favorite is called Glamour. Nimepatia jina mingi bidii mimi exchange by the end of the day. I think right now it's called Glamour of the Gravy. Glamour of the Gravy, it was the one mural. Most of the time, you know, you get inspiration. Me, I get my inspiration from conversations. Sana, tunapiga hivi story, lakini kuna idea. Kwa hiyo conversation, kuna idea na pick. Ama through observation, as I mentioned. And then another thing that now nimekuja kupenda is research, but fieldwork research. So through an organization called the Wild Mural Project, I'm an artist to the Wild Mural Project. It's an organization that uses mural art for wildlife and environment conservation. They took me on a field trip to Samburu County, and my work was to be able to talk to these women. These women, they're the guardians of the gravy zebras. So the gravy zebras are a type. So it's a type of zebra. You know, like I think that was. I didn't even know. It wasn't have like 3 different types of zebras. We have the plain zebras, which are commonly seen. Then unapata ngandura zote kwa barabara. We have the mountain zebras, which I don't think they're in Kenya. I think they're in Canada, if I'm not wrong, but they're not found in Kenya. And the gravy zebra. So with this research, it was about endangered species. It is an endangered species. Why? There are only left 3,000 in the world. And 90% are found in Samburu, northern Kenya, and then the remaining 10 are in Ethiopia. Okay. So now we went on a field trip research to the Gravy Zebra Trust. That's where some of them are found, and my work was to be able to interact. The women there are the ones who take care of these zebras. So now for me was to be able to listen to their stories. Because, you know, one thing with, I think the northern Kenya, they're pastoralist, pia sana. And also in terms of tradition, maybe because there's a lot of tradition, you're only a wife from home. But them in that conservation, most of the people who work there, the scouts are the women. And they're the ones who take care of these zebras. And I had the privilege to interact with 3 of the ladies. One of them is called Mama Gravy, because she literally takes care of these gravies, like
their
watoto wake. And I even had a conversation with the husband akisema amkanga asubuhi akimaliza kufanya vitu za nyumba, next ni kwenda kuangalia watoto wake. And how they get to take care of this zebra is one, through monitoring the water, growing grass, because somebody is an arid area. They grow grass, which is really mind blue. We are like, the grass is so green, you'd expect that
because it's there, it's
arid,
dry.
It's very dry. It's actually very green. It's a beautiful place.
Wow.
And also they get to track the zebras. So because of the population, one of the things that is making it endangered, of course, is the circle of life, because of they get to be predated on with the lions. So, but another thing, they're also hunted because they believe their skin, it's medicinal. So poaching is some of the things
that's what.
And then now life, because of the weather conditions venye zina change, the dryness, no food inafika mahali. Kuna time kulikuwa na famine, so zinakufa because ya kukosa food. So I was able to do a research and I did a mural on that, on the story of the women, and they named the piece The Glamour of the Gravy, because they take care of these zebras. Also the zebras, what makes them different from the plain ones is, plain zebras it's black and white and their stripes go throughout the body. But with gravy zebras, how you'll get to know them is their stripes are very thin. The plain is thick, but with gravy zebras, they are very thin. And then upper chini kwa tumbo, it's plain white. And then on the nose, it's brown. Na maskio ni round, it's not sharp pointed.
Okay.
So yes, learning that was I actually enjoyed the whole process, from the research to now doing this mural. And I did this mural in, one of the things that I wanted to do is participate in a mural festival. And I did that, and it was the first thing that, for my first mural festival, I got to do that. I got to do the glamour of the gravies.
That's so awesome. I think I love that story. I would love to visit that place.
No, you should. You'll enjoy.
I would love to. I think
even the people were so nice. That the conservation is like, the people are so kind. They took care of us while to feed me. Anyone I only feed, man, you're my favorite. And they fed us both with information and food, and they're very kind to share about the conservancy, taking care of these zebras. Like at the end of the day, also my work is about species. Like through the niche that I'm currently working on is on conservation, and learning that at the end of the day, we were given responsibility over animals and other things of the earth, right? So having to take care of these things, why are they almost getting extinct? People don't know, like, actually me before this kuna different types of zebras. This is important information. And in fact, we realize, even as Kenyans, we are privileged to have all these animals, all these things, but we know nothing. We don't even care.
You said 80. You said, was it 80 or 90%? That wako
Kenya. And I didn't even know that. Samburu, and then the rest is in Ethiopia. But they're only left 3,000. Actually, let us Jafika, they are less than 3,000. I think they're around 2,888.
Hey, we really need to learn a lot about
like there's that. There's also like other endangered species that are specifically found in Kenya. So for me, that's what I'm working on like creating awareness on this, and through the organization. So that's what we're trying to create awareness on this species. And we also come to realize, kama hii project yenye nimefanya, the latest mural, how the characteristics and the behaviors that are found in nature that are also present in human beings. We have so much in common. If we get to study, we realize like how nature survives. We have those systems that enable us to survive. So yeah.
Oh, okay. That's really nice. I'm glad to have heard about that. As I think we can wrap up from there. I just noticed something though. What is up with artists having dreadlocks? Naona pia sisi tuko na locks hapa sisi wote. Ni tuna escape responsibility ya kushukwa.
Yes. Me, it's just that, Saloon. Oh my God. Me, anything that's... Mona naenda salon kukaa 5 hours, 10 hours. For me, it's easy. What I do for me is, since nitoke high school, I wanted to weka dread. In fact, my plan was, nikitoka high school, because I had chemical. Unajua saa time high school kuna ambia chemical niweze ku-maintain. But then me, that was not working. So nikishave nikijua naeka dread. And then after nimeshave, my mama ananigeuka nakata
Unasema,
niweke
usiweke
dread. So
hizo
actually
ni za majambazi.
eventually alinikataza niweke dread, and then my brother akaweka dread, and then eventually too now nikaweka dread, and then pia akaweka dread. But for me it's more of it's easy to maintain. It's
true,
just easy to maintain.
True.
Najuanga tu nikiosha. Thank God for gel.
Real.
Hivyo tu niko tu sawa. Niko sawa.
How long have you had them? Like
Since 20, actually this is my 5th year.
5th year, same.
Yeah. Okay. It's nice. I don't know color pia tuweka, it's just easy. I don't have to think sasa next month nitashukwa nini, and then nikitoa, and then sasa nitafanya nini. And also for me I enjoy accessorizing my hair. It's one way I get to express as myself as an artist. Like me, I play around with jewelry, so I enjoy the process. And najua tu nikiboeka, I'll also get to style it myself. I'll just get to do whatever I want. The freedom of just having free hair without having to think so much of it. Asubuhi nikiamka najua tu if kanaenda somewhere important, jala haraka. Kama niko kwa nyumba the whole day, naamka naoga fanya kila kitu, nywele yangu free form. Yani at least ime reduce burden ya siku, na sina mambo mengi na have kufikiria. So for me it's just that. But I also admire people who braids. Like you have like nice wig, you look pretty. That patient is like, it's
good. Do you escape?
Mimi escape me sina, but you know what, at the end of the day we are all dealing with something. So
kidogo umedai nywele red anyway. Thank you so much for being here with us, Ninah.
I appreciate your time.
I think I've enjoyed this conversation. I've learned a lot from you, a lot. And for me, that was the main aim of this, to learn exactly how I can, market my art, do the patience thing, having to finish artworks and all that. I think I have really enjoyed learning about your favorite mural. I think it has a very good story behind it. And for me, we live for those stories. So thank you for being here. I think as time goes on, atabado ukikuja, this is home, you come.
I'll definitely come back. At the end of the year, by the time I'm doing the exhibition.
We need to debrief on how that exhibition will be, because I'm definitely gonna be there.
Please come, please come.
So thank you so much again for being here with us. And to my audience out there, I hope you all have enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. And this is just the beginning. In fact, this is the pilot episode. Unafeel aje ukiwa
man. I'm so honored. Actually, you're also the first person we've allowed to interview. Mimi nilikuwa na dodge my interview zenye nimeitwa, and also because uko mshy. But now I'm just like, also I'm in a place where I want people to know me, to understand what I'm doing, and also people to engage with my art, and also niko intentional about like the visual art. I feel like we're really underrepresented, and it's about time people get to understand. And I hope more visual artists get opportunities and actually to be interviewed, to be seen, because mimi hata bado watu huku nje ni wabaya. So I'm really honored and appreciate you reaching out on Instagram. By the way, social media, it's one of the places where I just post for the sake of being forced. Unajua kitambo ilikuwa tu wefanya kazi yako, recommendation you work. Now you have to put your work on social media. So you have to be consistent so that people can interact and get opportunities. So the fact that you reached out through Instagram and you're consistent with the follow-up, unajua kupata watu si rahisi. I know. But it's like just keep on insisting and people will show up. Whoever comes, whoever doesn't.
Thank you for the encouragement.
Time, at the end of the day, things work out for whoever is willing.
True. So thank you for the encouragement so much. I think I'm also feeling very privileged. And like I said, this is just the first of many. We're going to have so many episodes out there with different artists like this, and I hope you are all ready to go on this journey with me, because it's gonna be an awesome one. Till next time, guys. Bye.